Hello, welcome to Wikifiends. I'm your host, Joe.
I'm David.
And we are the Wikifiends. We're going to read some Wikipedia articles and then give you our chat about them, / opinions. And we're back from a little hiatus. I was having some computer issues, where I got those fixed up. And I also bought a motorcycle, and I've been motorcycling around all month. For the whole month of April. So let's just jump into the first topic. The first one I have for you is Martingale. Are you familiar with Martingale, Dave?
No, I'm not.
A martingale is any of a class of betting strategies that originated from and were popular in 18th century France. The simplest of these strategies was designed for a game in which the gambler wins his stake if a coin comes up heads and loses if the coin comes up tails. The strategy had the gambler double his bet after every loss so that the first win would recover all previous losses plus a win of profit equal to the original stake. The Martingale strategy has been applied to roulette as well, as the probability of hitting either red or black is close to 50%. And it says, since a gambler with infinite wealth will, almost surely, eventually flip heads, the Martingale betting strategy was seen as a sure thing by those who advocated it. Of course, none of the gamblers, in fact, possessed infinite wealth, and the exponential growth of the bets would eventually bankrupt unlucky gamblers who chose to use the martingale. The gambler usually wins a small net reward, thus appearing to have a sound strategy. However, the gambler's expected value does indeed remain zero, or less than zero, because the small probability that he will suffer a catastrophic loss exactly balances with his expected gain. And it says, so in a casino, the expected value is negative due to the house's edge. It also says, the likelihood of catastrophic loss may not even be very small. The bet size rises exponentially. This, combined with the fact that strings of consecutive losses actually occur more often than common intuition suggests, can bankrupt a gambler quickly. And then it gets into the math behind it, but I'm not going to get too much into the mathematics.
So, but it's this thing that works, but it's just as likely to not work, and it's kind of like it's better if you have enough resources to back it up, which nobody has. So. Yeah,
you would need infinite wealth to assure that it will win.
Right. But if you had infinite wealth anyway, it's a funny thing.
And it says here, in reality, the odds of a streak of 6 losses in a row are much higher than many people intuitively believe. Psychological studies have shown that since people know that the odds of losing 6 times in a row out of 6 plays are low, they incorrectly assume that in a longer string of plays, the odds are also very low. When people are asked to invent data representing 200 coin tosses, they often do not add streaks of more than 5 because they believe that these streaks are very unlikely. This intuitive belief is sometimes referred to as the representativeness heuristic. So I guess this sort of can fold into gambler's fallacy. Are you familiar with gambler's fallacy?
No, but it's like what they're saying, I guess, is kind of that everybody thinks, well, I won't lose 7 times in a row. It won't happen to me. What is it?
Well, that's essentially it. Gambler's fallacy is the mistaken belief that if something happens more frequently than normal during some period, it will happen less frequently in the future. Or that if something happens less frequently than normal during some period, it will happen more frequently in the future, presumably as a means of balancing nature.
Right. I think everybody succumbs to that a little bit. I definitely have.
Yeah, it's sort of like like you'll hear people say like, "Oh, I'm due for it. I'm due for a win."
Yeah, right, totally.
But you're
totally.
you're really not. It's still just chance.
Right, absolutely.
So that was just a little icebreaker one.
That's a good one. It's kind of, it's like, what was it called again? The original thing?
The original one is Martingale.
The Martingale, like, tactic or strategy or
System,
whatever.
I guess.
Yes, system. Yeah. But it's kind of just like, it is just like a codified gambler's fallacy, though.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and it seems like people can go bankrupt from it.
Right.
I mean, it would be nice if there were like, if Wikipedia had like anecdotes of that, but they do not.
Well, that's one you could dig deeper on, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you have?
Okay. I was getting into these. I don't know if there's a ton of these. They're like case studies. Sigmund Freud's Analysans. This is one of his more famous ones, the Rat Man. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay. Rat Man was a nickname given by Sigmund Freud to a patient whose case history was published on Notes Upon a Case of Obsessive Neurosis in 1909. This is the second of six case histories that Freud published, and the first in which he claimed the patient had been cured by psychoanalysis. The nickname derives from the fact that among the patient's many compulsions was an obsession with the nightmarish fantasies about rats. To protect the anonymity of patients, psychoanalytic case studies would usually withhold or disguise the names of the individuals concerned, examples like Anna O, Little Hands, Wolfman, etc. Mm-hmm. Recent researchers have decided that Rat Man was in fact a clever lawyer named Ernest Lanzer, who lived from 1878 and died in 1914, though many other sources maintain that the man's name was Paul Lorenz. So, could have been a lawyer, could have been this other guy.
Could have been Paul Lorenz.
Yeah. So, anyway, this is, here's a history of the case. They're referring him to Lanzer. This author seems to think it was the lawyer. I'm just going to say Rat Man. Rat Man first came to Freud in October 1907, complaining of obsessive fears and compulsive impulses. Freud treated his patient for a little over 3 months on a regular daily basis. The treatment was irregular for the next 3 months and sporadic at best after that. The client's principal fear was that something terrible was going to happen to his father and the lady friend who later became his wife. His fear had grown out of an account he had heard from a fellow army officer concerning a Chinese torture method in which a large pot containing a live rat was strapped to the buttocks of the victim, and the rat encouraged with a red-hot poker to gnaw his way through the victim's anus. The client claimed that he fantasized about murder and suicide and developed a number of compulsive irrational behavior patterns. For example, he mentioned his habit of opening the door to his flat between 12 at midnight and 1 a.m., apparently so that his father's ghost could enter. The client would then stare at his penis, sometimes using a mirror.
He would stare at it at night? He would stare at it at night, or he would stare at it with Freud?
I think he said he would open the door to his apartment after midnight and between 1, so his father's ghost could enter, and then he would stare at his penis using a mirror in his apartment, I think.
So not during a session?
Not during... It was kind of... it was like a night ritual.
Okay.
Freud encouraged the client to discuss details of his sex life, such as his first efforts at masturbation at age 20, and focused on the number of verbal associations with the word rat and rats. According to Freud's analysis, the client unconsciously identified himself with rats. The client was unconsciously fantasizing that he, a rat and a biter, was having anal intercourse with his father and his lady friend. I don't know if I'm with you there, Freud. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the full details.
It sounds like a Freud theory.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's like what was it? He had the fear of the Chinese torture of a rat eating his ass. And anyway, the client was verbally clever and himself introduced Freud to Nietzsche's phrase, to which Freud would later cite, "I did this, says my memory. I could not have done this, says my pride," and remains exortable. In the end, memory yields. Freud would retell the saying more than once, and it would be taken up by later therapists such as Fritz Perls. The client broke off his analysis of Freud after a relatively brief period and well before his transference had ever been fully resolved. Just after Freud had written the complete version of the case history in October 1909, he confessed to Jung that his patient was still having ongoing problems. The client was killed in the First World War, and therefore later researchers were unable to interview him. So, it's pretty much the history.
So gone, but not forgotten.
No, and kind of like a heralded case. There's a lot. It's had quite a legacy.
Well, that one's pretty weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like banal in a way too. You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't. I mean, it seems weird, but the guy it seems like it was a normal, for the most part, person though. You know.
Now, I thought the rat thing was that they would put the rats in like a cauldron and then affix it to your stomach, and they would crawl through the stomach.
I mean,
I didn't know there was an anus thing.
Maybe he added that.
Okay. He was projecting his desires, possibly.
Well, he heard the story about them putting the pot on the stomach, but then he's like, "Oh, wouldn't it be gross if they put it on your ass?" Yeah. He added that element.
Well, then there's also that thing that notion that gay people like to put gerbils in their anus.
Yeah, it's kind of like anti-homosexual canard, right? Like,
yeah, is that true at all?
I don't know if
you think there's. I'm not saying specifically with gay people, but do you think there are instances where people have done that?
I mean, there are people. There was that thing on YouTube where they had to get rid of all the crush videos, where it was like women stomping on animals. People are really shitty, so I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
I do not condone that.
No, I don't either.
Either one, the gerbil in the ass or the killing animals for sexual pleasure.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I'm not going to act like such a prude, but it's just, it's even, I don't know, it's a weird one. It just seems very sinister. It's like murderer's triad shit, you know what I mean? Like, It's definitely sadistic.
Yeah. Well,
what's your next article?
All right. Maybe we should have a little bit of a palate cleanser article. Because I think I was going to do one that was a little more, less,
Well, keep going. Go down the unsavory. Whatever you want.
I don't know. I feel a little bit like I don't want to do a lot of gross things right now.
You have to add balance to the world.
Yeah, I want to add the balance. So
good.
All right. All right. I guess I'll go with the here. Oh, they're all none of. All right, this one's an okay one.
All my articles are nasty.
A lot of them are pretty like not pleasurable.
I had a fucking YouTube wiki hole of all pretty nasty ones too. My other ones aren't as bad, but I know what you mean. I have a lot of fucked up ones.
Yeah. All right, let's go with this one. Jamais vu. Have you heard of this?
No.
Well, it's jamais vu, and it's a related concept to déjà vu.
Oh, okay.
Jamais vu, from French meaning never seen, is the phenomenon of experiencing a situation that one recognizes in some fashion, but that nonetheless seems very unfamiliar. Often described as the opposite of déjà vu, jamais vu involves a sense of eeriness and the observer's impression of seeing the situation for the first time, despite rationally knowing that he or she has been in the situation before. Jamais vu is sometimes associated with certain types of aphasia, amnesia, and epilepsy. Jamais vu is most commonly experienced when a person momentarily does not recognize a word, or less commonly, a person, a play, or a place that she or he knows. And it says, this can be achieved by anyone by repeatedly writing or saying a specific word out loud. After a few seconds, one will often, despite knowing that it is a real word, feel as though there's no way it is an actual word. And that's in quotes. It says it's often grouped with déjà vu and presque vu, or tip of the tongue. Presque vu is like, I know that word, but I can't, what is that word? Which, to me, seems like it would be the most common.
Right. No, definitely. It's like you have half of the concept. Like, you know what the word is, but don't know what it means, or don't know what it is, but know what it means.
Right, and it says here, theoretically, as seen below, a jamais vu feeling in a sufferer of a delirious disorder or intoxication could result in a delirious explanation of it, such as in Capgras delusion, in which the patient takes a person known by him or her for a false double or imposter. If the imposter is himself, the clinical setting would be the same as the one described by depersonalization. Hence, jamais vus of oneself or of the very reality of reality are termed depersonalization and derealization, respectively. And it says a study by Chris Mulan of Leeds University asked 92 volunteers to write out door 30 times in 60 seconds. In July 2006, at the 4th International Conference on Memory in Sydney, he reported that 68% of volunteers showed symptoms of jamais vu, such as beginning to doubt that door was a real word. Dr. Mulan believes that a similar brain fatigue underlies a phenomenon observed in some schizophrenia patients, that a familiar person has been replaced by an imposter. Dr. Mulan suggests they could be suffering from chronic jamais vu. And it says jamais vu can be caused by epileptic seizures. So that's a little unnerving. You gonna say something?
It's weird because, it almost, when I hear this shit, it does make me just really, the human brain is almost like, it's like that cliche, it's like a computer, but it is like computer glitches, does not recognize this file, or you know what I mean? It's weird.
Well, I know this isn't directly related, but you've seen the movie Matrix, correct?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the weakest parts in the movie where they do the deja vu thing.
Yeah.
And he sees the cat twice in a row.
Yeah. I forgot about that scene. Yeah.
That is in no way like deja vu, but they're putting it forth like it is.
Yeah.
It's not you don't see the same thing happen once and then happen again right away. It's just that you get a feeling that has happened before.
Yeah, right. Like you have a memory of it.
Yeah, I think that's the weakest part.
Well, it's like Groundhog Day shit.
Yeah, well, not really, because it was, well, I don't know, I can't say yes or no, but that was the thing that you would say, no way, that's bullshit. That was, that's the thing in that movie that destroys any suspension of disbelief. Because no one experiences deja vu like that, at least to my knowledge.
Well, like, it's like a more phenomenological, like, or whatever. Like, my cat did this thing twice. Like, that's not deja vu. Yeah, it is. It's like, that's like a far off memory of a current thing.
Yeah, that's just like having some sort of episode where you're seeing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, you're psyching out, right?
Physically seeing the same thing over and over again.
No, but the thing you were reading is about, it's like when the familiar is unfamiliar, where that is a weird thing. It's like,
like you walk into your home and you know you live there and you've been there, but it doesn't seem like you've ever been there before. That's what it would be like. I mean, that's like...
Right.
And then this Capgrass illusion, that's also really weird.
Yeah.
And it looks like there are a lot of interesting brain sort of issues that might be good for me to save for another episode.
Oh, okay. But are, like, related to this?
Well, not directly related, but I guess would be sort of, you know, under, like, a see also type thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Seemed pretty good. Alright. So what do you have?
Here's a short one. It's a weird one. It's called The Chapel Perilous. Have you heard of this before?
No.
The term Chapel Perilous first appeared in Sir Thomas Malory's The Death of Arthur, published in 1485. It was the setting for an adventure in which the sorceress Heloise unsuccessfully attempts to seduce Sir Lancelot. Mm-hmm. It was used by T.S. Eliot symbolically in The Wasteland, and Dorothy Hewitt took the title The Chapel Perilous for her autobiographical play. So it's used as a concept in literature and psychology. In literature, it's used, defined by Thomas C. Foster as the dangerous enclosure that is known in the study of traditional quest romances. And in psychology, the Chapel Perilous is a term referring to a psychological state in which an individual cannot be certain whether they have been aided or hindered by some force outside the realm of the natural world, or whether what appeared to be supernatural interference was a product of their own imagination. It was used by the late writer and philosopher Robert Anton Wilson in his book Cosmic Trigger. According to Wilson, being in this state leads the subject to be either become paranoid or an agnostic. In his opinion, there's no third way. Now, it's kind of a weird, kind of just like a splitting hairs esoteric thing, but I was thinking about it, like, I kind of, when I first read the article, I kind of knew what they were saying, you know what I mean? This kind of feeling. Like, I was thinking about it, like, when I was in college, like, I used to, like, dye my hair, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I remember I kind of had a moment where I was, like, thinking, like, well, you've already done this, why stop here? Why not get fully into all this shit? Like go get piercings, the whole shtick. And I think, like, what stopped me was feeling like an outsider being like, yeah, that's cool. That's what you should do. Yeah, might as well. Like, it made me, like, you know what I mean? Like, question my own agency. I feel like I was at the Chapel Perilous. And I emerged more paranoid. It's like, I don't want to do things like this because I feel like it's not all me. You know what I mean?
What was the thing that made you sort of think about that, though? What was the thing that brought that thought, that made you aware of that thought?
Like what do you mean? Like in the moment?
In the moment, yes.
I don't know. Like, maybe there was, like, a specific thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. Mm-hmm. It felt like it was just kind of this... It came from watching other people. It came from kind of... You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure. I feel like it's like I saw other people kind of jumping into things and seemingly not questioning things, you know what I mean? And, like, I don't know, maybe it is, it's like an arrogance. It's like, well, I'm not going to do that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to keep my head on my shoulders about this, like...
And do you ever get this feeling? Are you still as paranoid, I guess?
Actually, less so, but I don't know. I mean, like, I kind of still don't, you know, I mean, I still abide by that decision, but it's not as, that's the thing, like, it's like, in that when you think of thoughts like that, or you're kind of wrangling with it, that is, it's like you're in the Chapel Perilous. It feels kind of like hot and heavy, but it's really not. You know, you're past that. You know what I mean? Kind of moment. It's like the hour of decision or some shit. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of, it's overly, it's kind of like dramatic, over dramatized or something.
Do you think like the struggling with the idea you're already out? You're saying struggling with the idea you're already outside of the Chapel Perilous?
Well, it's like when you're kind of,
or like once you realize you're in the Chapel Perilous, then you're out of it.
Yeah. It's like you only realize you were in it once you passed through it.
Yeah. And the eeriness comes from the fact that you feel like you had a brush with it.
Well, it's, yeah, I mean, like, I'll try to tie it to the mythical thing. Like, I was resisting the sorceress Heloise to, you know what I mean? Like, get piercings. A big bitch. Like, you know, it was this outside fucking influence, and I was able to pass through it. Like,
yeah, you defeated her.
Yeah, or I escaped it. Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
I mean, it's a funny, concept. Like,
yeah,
it's what is it? It's I find it compelling.
Yeah, it's very. That's very banal, also, though.
What do you mean?
Your issue about the piercings.
I mean, I wanted to think of like a real like non-grand example. You know what I mean? Like a more every day or kind of.
Well, have you had grand examples of this?
I don't know. It kind of takes some post facto rationalizing. I need to think about it more. You know what I mean? You kind of have to pour over your struggles.
Well, I think that's a pretty good article.
Yeah. I don't know. All this fucking Cosmic Trigger, Robert Anton Wilson kind of crazy.
I like him, though. He's interesting.
Isn't it like Illuminatus, or he wrote all these books, right?
Yeah, he wrote those.
I was actually thinking about listening to the audiobooks of some of that stuff. There's a lot of that shit out there on YouTube.
Oh. Does the article have any good pictures?
No. It's actually pretty short.
No good artistic representations of the chapel?
No, you know, this is, I think, kind of an underserved trope. You know what I mean? Like, it's people are aware of it, and it's been, some people have talked about it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's like fucking Anton Ali, like some modern shaman shit, and like Timothy Leary, like, I don't know. It seems like there could be more to it than just the kind of like occult spiritual stuff. It does. I like it more in its Arthurian. You know what I mean? Original context. Like.
All right. Well, what have we've each done 2, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to do one more and then go on to games?
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right. Well, I'd like to introduce as my thing. I'd like to introduce hopefully a ongoing series in which I read descriptions or I read episode synopses of the Aladdin animated TV series.
Oh, I'll have to make theme music for this. Maybe I'll add it in post.
Yeah. I can show you the world.
Do you have like a name for this segment? Have you thought about any of that?
How about Aladdin time?
yeah, that's good.
I just want to give a little backstory into this. I really liked this show. It originally aired from 1994 to 1995. And I recall it was out at the same time as the Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And where I lived, they both had the same time slot on different channels. So I never really watched Power Rangers. I never liked them. So a lot of times when people our age talk about them nostalgically, I have no way of relating to it because I watched this instead.
You're an Aladdin loyalist.
Yeah, well, I didn't like Power Rangers. I know we've talked about this personally, but and not on the show before. But
yes,
I find it a more enjoyable show, and you couldn't watch two things that were on at the same time. So no DVRs then.
Couldn't have your cake and eat it too back then as a kid.
No, and I probably would not. Even if I could, I probably would not have recorded Power Rangers.
Honestly, the whole team, I was into some teams, you know what I mean? Like your 5-character heroic ensemble, but I didn't like them categorically, though. You know what I mean?
What would you cite as an example of something you did like? Would you cite
Turtles?
Okay. I was going to say Scooby-Doo, but...
No, but, it's the same shit, though, right? Different characters, colors. They even have colors, Yeah.
Alright. So, here's the first one. It's called Air Feather Friends, and it's clearly a play on Fair Weather Friends, but... This is episode 1. 3 small but destructive tornadoes sweep through the marketplace of Agrabah, stealing jewels and gold and leaving behind damaged booths. The more superstitious think they are wind demons, but Aladdin thinks they are merely thieves. He is forced to prove his theory, and Abu's freedom is on the line if he can. He discovers that Abismal and his henchmen are using the magic golden feathers of a baby roc to create the tornadoes. Now it is up to Aladdin and his friends to save the day. And I don't know if you noticed that the antagonist is Abismal.
Abysmal.
Yeah. They've got a lot of... They do have a lot of, it seems like Abismal is a frequently recurring antagonist.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
They do have a lot of pun names for things.
That's good, though. But they're all just, Arabic puns, like Abib.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, here's episode 2, Bad Moon Rising. Aladdin, Jasmine, Abu, Iago, and Genie head off on carpet to open trade with Quirkistan, but are shocked to find Quirkistan a dreary wasteland. It turns out... Quirk.
Oh, okay.
It turns out that the land is enchanted, so that the weather and states of things are determined solely by the mood of King Mahmud, Turkestan's spoiled child king. He's currently brooding over everyone missing his birthday party, and as a result, the whole land is doomed. So with the prospect of a rich treasure reward, the gang tries to cheer up the king. Aladdin comes close with his risky sword juggling act, but only Jasmine's storytelling engages Mahmud. But Jasmine will have to stay there and entertain the king forever. Alright?
Why the fuck didn't the genie do the best?
I don't know. I guess he thought... maybe the kid was like, I'm not settling for a imposter Robin Williams.
Or I was thinking, I bet I know how it went. The genie, gold and treasures, but he's like a king. He's like, yawn, I'm already a spoiled brat. but then he just gets like horny when he sees a young woman. Like that's what I bet happened.
Yeah, well, he's a child, so.
No, but still, it's like, but is he like? But it's like, they do that thing where it's like a young male boy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like burgeoning pubescence.
Yeah. All right, here's episode 3. To cure a thief, the clumsy thief Amin Demula barely escapes within an inch of decapitation from the Sultan's treasury. As Abu is found holding the gauntlet, which triggers the trap mechanisms, Aladdin rages that's one theft too many, and intends to leash his too handy friend, who runs away, followed by ever-greedy Iago. Abu is recruited by Amin, who brings him to the Guild of Thieves, where his reputation is abysmal. No relation to the character Abysmal. Then they set out to steal the gauntlet, which is a thief's ideal magical aid. Without each other, Abu feels as miserable, guilty, and lonely as Aladdin, who sets out with the gang to get Abu back. But Amin already brought him to the palace, where no safety can stop the monkey.
Too much shit going on in that one, it sounds like. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that one's weird.
You should parse that one down.
Alright, episode 4, Do the Rat Thing.
How many of these are you gonna fucking do? Is this the whole season?
No, I'm gonna do one more after this.
Okay. We should do an episode where we just do all of them.
there's like 80 episodes.
We could get through. We should see how many we get through in like an hour.
Should I just do this one and then this last one?
How many did you do? 3?
I did 3.
And how many are in per season?
They're not even seasons. There's like 80 episodes.
It's just 80 episodes?
There's 3 seasons, but the last 2 only have like a handful each.
Yeah, just do one more.
Alright. Do the Rat Thing. While being bothered by a prince from a neighboring kingdom who wishes to marry her, Jasmine is further infuriated with Aladdin when he addresses her as Princess instead of her name, and that Aladdin won't let her accompany him on the streets because she doesn't know the first thing of being a street rat. To prove him wrong, she goes on the streets with Iago, but when she steals the magic mirror, it turns her into a rat and Iago into a lizard. Now the two have to sneak into the palace to find Aladdin so they can get Genie to reverse the curse.
I see, like, odd. So they just get turned into different shit and have to find another friend to stop it? It's kind of interesting how simple that is.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit more complex than that. I'm not sure. But,
you remember these?
I remember some of them.
Do you remember any of the ones you read?
I don't think so.
Do you remember Abysmal?
No, I do not. I tried to, once I found this, though, I tried to look for where I could get, a complete series DVD. It looks like it's not available, but it's available for streaming in Germany.
in English?
I don't know. My guess is it would probably be dubbed.
You could probably... Man, that shit's probably out there somewhere.
Well, hopefully Amazon will listen to this and make it available.
Netflix.
Yeah, that's true. I think this is the kind of thing that you'd really want to own it.
I disagree. I used to know people that they would get, like, I don't know, someone would record all the episodes of Salute Your Shorts on VHS and you'd buy shit like that. Like, that shit's out there.
I would love to have the complete Salute Your Shorts.
I'm surprised that isn't like a thing they're cashing in on more. Like, that's such an obvious thing. Like, people talk about that shit all the time, it seems like.
Yeah. I would definitely if they want that. And I'm getting a little pumped because the next it looks like the next few episodes are pretty good.
No, we should. I don't know. Maybe we should just try to get through them all, like sometime.
You want me to read another one?
All right, you can do one more. Then let's. No, fuck that. There's 80 more to go. There's plenty more where that came from.
Oh, let me just tell you that this next one has a pun in the title.
What is it? Just tell me the title. A little teaser.
Never say Nafir.
Never say Iago. I was gonna ask, like, I that character I guess is in the heroic team, and I guess that is canon.
Well, in the second one, I think he was in the heroic side. In the second
think so,
movie.
Yeah.
And that was the one that had Dan Castellaneta.
Was that fucking what's his name? I can't remember his name now.
What?
Iago's voice.
Oh, it's Gilbert Gottfried.
Was it Gilbert Gottfried in the TV show?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it looks like even in some of the episodes of Aladdin, like a special episodes, they got Robin Williams to do the genie on the show.
Oh, jeez. That's weird. Well, we'll have to get more into that. All right, let me get this last article and let's do the games, okay?
Well, let me just ask you. These sound pretty good, right?
Yes.
I love these. I wanna watch these again.
No, I know the thing too about doing finding the list of tight shit. You know what I mean? You just want to read it all right away. Yeah. I think we should get more into that. Actually, that would be interesting to just do an all Aladdin episode synopsis, all 80, or you do part 1 and part 2. Do 40. All right, let me do this quick one, and then let's get to the games and wrap this shit up.
All right.
The modern Pentathlon. Are you familiar with this?
Well, Pentathlon, wouldn't that be like a 5-event thing?
Yes.
And how modern is it? Is it actually modern?
It looks like it. Yeah, they alter it though. So the modern pentathlon is an Olympic sport that comprises 5 different events: fencing, 200-meter freestyle swimming, show jumping, and a final combined event of pistol shooting and a 32,000-meter cross-country run. This sport has been a core sport of the Olympic Games since 1912, despite attempts to remove it. A world championship for modern pentathlon has been held annually since 1949. So, I normally am kind of snoozy about sports or kind of Olympics articles, but why this how it was made has kind of caught my attention. The foundation of the modern pentathlon is disputed. On one hand, Baron Pierre de Cotebert, the founder of the modern Olympic Games, said that the modern pentathlon contains swimming, running, fencing, and equestrian. The name derives from the Greek pentathlon, contest of 5 events. The addition of modern to the name distinguished it from the original pentathlon of the ancient Olympic Games, which consisted of the foot race, wrestling, long jump, javelin, and discus. As the events of the ancient pentathlon were modeled after the skills of the ideal soldier to defend a castle of the time, Coubertin created the contest to simulate the experience of a 19th century cavalry officer behind enemy lines. He must ride an unfamiliar horse, fight enemies with a pistol and sword, swim, and run to return to his own soldiers. In the 1912 games, with only officers competing, they were, however, permitted to use their own horses. Up until the 1952 Olympics, the ordinary cavalry soldier was considered a professional athlete, as he was riding and training horses for a living, while the officer was the amateur. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
This idea that it's kind of like LARPing, you go out in the woods and you kind of throw shit and you pretend to sword fight. This is kind of like that in a way, but it's turned athletic. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I like it. I don't know if I would be good at too many of those events, but
No, the ride an unfamiliar horse thing, like that's kind of crazy, you know.
I guess it's just like it seems sort of like a rugged man type thing. Like, how many of these things can you do?
Yeah, it is, and like all at once, right? You know what I mean?
But it's like also like it's like a genuine it's like a general toughness because it's like not as much training. It seems like it relies less on training and just being like a well-rounded tough guy.
Yeah, it's just gumption.
Yeah, I kind of like that more. I think like that's one of the worst parts of sports is that it's like there's like you have to be like all consumed with the sport. It can't be a thing you just do on like your your free time. Like when it comes to professional sports, you know?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, I kind of like the thing too, where it's like a simulation in a way. Like, it's not just like who's the best at flexing their muscles or pushing up. You know what I'm saying? Like pushing their legs on the thing. There's a kind of like narrative in it that's really interesting. You know, like yeah.
And I also like anything that involves like a competition that involves like a physical thing, but then also shooting a gun.
No, yeah, I figured you would be interested in that aspect of it. Like until 2009, the shooting discipline involved using a 4.5 millimeter air pistol in the standing position from 10 meters distance to a stationary target. The format of that 10-meter air pistol competition, each competitor had 20 shots with 40 seconds allowed for each shot. In 2009, the combined event was born. This involves a combination of running and shooting events so that each competitor ran 3,000-meter laps, each prefaced by hitting 5 targets with a pistol. So like that's kind of interesting. This kind of like it's not just shooting; it's shooting when you're fucking tired. You know what I mean? Like I like that.
Yeah,
that's narrative. Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Would you do it?
I would. I would be more likely to want to try something like this than I feel like LARPing. I guess. I like the kind of like there seems like it. It wouldn't feel like sports. It would feel kind of like you're a stuntman. You know what I mean?
It seems like a challenge thing that like you'd come up with, like guys would just come up with on their own.
Yeah, it kind of has this like arbitrary thing, like you got to drink like all this whiskey and then shoot this machine gun and crash this car. You know,
sounds like we should have our own modern pentathlon.
Yeah, I don't like. It's a weird thing. I don't even know. Like, I know it's a sport. You know what I mean? It's like it seems like it's something different though. It's weird. I don't know. Something weird about it that I find interesting.
Yeah. You gotta ride this motorcycle and then play Fallout for 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, what would your pentathlon be? You gotta play Fallout, then ride your motorcycle.
Yeah. Shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Then go get soda.
You have to shoot a gun to Starbucks.
You have to shoot the cup down from a high shelf.
And then draw 5 portraits.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see who did it better. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but when you get into that stuff, you kind of get into the gymnastic or ice skating thing where it's like the artistry of it.
Yeah, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Wow.
No, but I'm into that though.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to do all these things. All the things I mentioned.
I'm gonna look more into shit like this. I like this kind of stuff. Multi-sports, maybe.
Maybe like chop something down with an axe.
Chop, or what, like a lumberjack?
Yeah. I would do that. I would chop something down and then ride. Like, you have to chop down a tree and then ride a dirt bike, a motorcycle, to a place where you shoot a gun.
Well, see, I should mention this. There are different versions. It's like similar to the biathlon at the Winter Olympic Games, which has cross-country skiing with rifle shooting.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they carry their rifles and they also have the skis. Like, it's kind of like it doesn't have to be 5, you know what I mean? Just these kind of weird combo things like this.
Yeah. The combo thing is interesting.
Yeah. I like that image, though, of the guy with the skis and the gun. I remember playing, like, some fucking old, like, Coleco or Atari game that had shit like that. It's like very James Bond. You know?
I think it would be fun to do a thing where you, like with paintball guns, where you like have to ride a bicycle, like a mountain bike, around a course, and then shoot at like people that pop out of the woods at you.
Wait, what was the thing you're riding, or what are you doing? What was the original thing?
You're on a mountain bike and you have a paintball gun.
Oh, okay, I see. So it's kind of like...
And people dressed as like monsters come out of the woods to try to get you. So it's riding the course in the shortest time, but also defeating the monsters.
So it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like, it's like Monster-a-thon.
Yeah. I mean, it could just be guys. They don't have to dress up like monsters, but that could be the...
But it's like they're not shooting back at you. It's their...
Yeah, like they raise their claws at you.
They're like moving targets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Organic moving targets.
I guess there could be an event where they're monsters and one where they're crazed gunmen and they do shoot at you.
How about it's almost like one of those like zombie like walks or something. Like you have to ride through a trail in the woods where they try to knock you off your motorcycle, and then you have to run up the stairs at an office building to the top floor or something.
All right, well, maybe we should talk about making one of these events.
Yeah. Send us your ideas.
Yeah. Send us your ideas and some money.
Send us your money ideas.
Yeah. All right. So you want to go on to the games?
Yes. So let's get going.
All right. The first one I have, let me pull it up, is Grand Army Slang.
Okay.
As with all forces throughout history, the French Grande Armée of the Napoleonic Wars used a colorful and extensive vocabulary of slang terms to describe their lives, times, and circumstances and express their reactions towards them. So this is a partial glossary of slang used by Le Grande Armée.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna read the French and the English translation, and I want you to guess what it is.
Okay.
All right, first one is l'arme blanche, or the white weapon.
Like a knife?
I'll give it to you. It's a cutting or thrusting weapon, such as a sword or lance, rather than gunpowder weapon. Or the cavalry, that use them, especially hussars and lancers.
It's like a bayonet. Like, I mean, it says a knife or any.
It says cutting or thrusting weapons, such as a sword or lance.
Okay, so it's like blades, white melee.
Yeah.
Flashing. Yeah.
All right. Avoir de engelure or you, or having frostbitten eyes.
Like on guard duty, up all night.
No, it is to be afraid during an attack.
Ah, okay.
Alright. Le Brutal, or the Brutal One.
I mean, that sounds like the enemy, but it kind of sounds like someone, like, you know, like your drill sergeant or like something like that. I'm gonna say it's a weapon. Is it like a cannon?
You gotta make a guess.
Yeah, it's a cannon. Like prepare the brutal one. Bring out the cannons.
I'll give that to you. It means artillery.
Oh, it is artillery. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Le Casse Poitrine, or gut breaker.
Gut breaker. I'm trying to think. Like, they've got a gut breaker. It's a real gut breaker. You know, I'm trying to think of like different ways you'd say it. Shit, I don't know. Let me think. Is it just like kind of like talking shit about food? Like, eat some gut breakers?
That's related, but I can't give that to you. It just means strong drink.
Oh, okay, so like rock gut.
Yeah. Le Chapeau, or the hat.
Is that a condom?
No. It's, and remember, this is like from Napoleon's time.
Okay. Oh, I don't know.
It just means Napoleon.
Oh, it's just Napoleon.
That's like a sobriquet for him.
So they'd say like, it's what the hat wants.
Yeah. Or like,
right.
Like, watch out, the hat's coming.
Oh.
Alright, this is one I like. Le Crucifix à Resort, or Springed Crucifix.
I feel like that's going to be something weird. Springed Crucifix. I feel like it's something like violent, or like, I'm trying to think of the context how someone would say that word. I don't know. Is it like can you give me like a person, place, or a thing?
It's a thing.
It's a thing? Yeah, spring crucifix. Is that a catapult?
No, it means a pistol.
Ah, I gotcha.
Yeah. Alright, this one's a good one. Déjeuner à la fourchette, or eating lunch with a fork.
Like, not, like, out of combat, like in civilian life again?
Nope. It's a bayonet attack.
I see. Alright.
Embrassé par une demoiselle, or kissed by a young lady.
I feel like a lot of these are kind of like, they sound cute, but they mean like your face was blown off, you know what I mean? And I feel like this is something like that, like a bullet went past your face.
I can't give it to you, but you have the right idea. Wounded by a cannonball.
Oh shit! Yeah, right. That's great. See, you know, like that's such an extreme difference, right?
Yeah. Let's see
really
here.
It's being ironic, yeah.
Le fete, or the party.
Combat.
I'll give it to you. It just means war.
It's like engagement, right? Yeah. Come to the party.
All right. Le Goddams, or the God Dams.
Is that just like the enemy?
It means British infantry.
So I got that.
Yep. Alright. This one's kind of, let me see here. I'm trying to give you juicy ones. Le jus de l'arbre, or sap of the tree.
Oh, shit. Something sticky. Fuck, that's a tough one. I don't know. I'm gonna just give up.
It's wine.
Oh. That's weird.
Yeah.
You got any more good ones?
Yeah, I'm trying to find some more juicy ones. En déchire de la mousseline, or they are ripping muslin.
They are ripping muslin, and that's like, I know it's like cloth, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like out of ammo. Like they're kind of, we've got them on the run.
It means a volley of fire by poorly drilled troops. Alright. Pousser la botte au cochon, or to push one's boot against the pig.
It's like to go over, like to charge.
No.
What were you gonna say?
This one's really good.
Well, I don't know. What is it?
It means running one's sword through somebody's throat.
Yeah. It's very insulting.
See here. This one's good, but it's a little too long. Alright, let's see here. I guess that. Se faire laver les cheveux avec du plomb, or to have one's hair washed with lead.
Like to be near a blast going off?
It means to be executed by firing squad.
Jeez.
Pretty good, right? Pretty good slang they had.
Yeah, that's an interesting list. I'm into all that Napoleonic shit myself.
Yeah. Alright, what's your game?
Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Okay. For our next game, we're going to play Guess the Character based on their behavior, or guess the behavior attribute based on the characters. So these are lists of characters I'm going to tell you, fictional characters, and you're going to guess what they have in common.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, try to start with an easy one. The Artful Dodger, Jay Gatsby, the Goon, let me see who else. Cobra Commander, Darth Maul. What do all these characters have in common? Do you want to hear some more?
They have a scar?
No. I'll give it to you in 3. There are 3 guesses, so that's your first one.
God.
You can hear more, I can repeat them.
They wore hats?
Wrong.
Can you give me a hint? Like, what? Is it a physical thing, or is it a...
Art? It's a behavioral thing.
Oh.
Artful Dodger, Jay Gatsby, Cobra Commander, let me see, Mr. Burns, yeah.
Oh, they have sidekicks?
Fictional criminals.
Alright,
here's the next one. You ever watch Red Dwarf? You know Red Dwarf?
We've talked about this.
Yes, so the cat from Red Dwarf, Fraser Crane, Patrick Bateman, Austin Powers, Hercule Poirot, the Scarlet Pimpernel, Jay Gatsby again, Zorro, Lucius Malfoy, Willy Wonka. What do these characters have in common?
All played by Kelsey Grammer. Is it where they went to school?
What do you mean? Like they all? No. It's the characters themselves. What? It's like they're all criminals.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna let that one slide. Like it's not about like. What do you mean they all went to the same school?
They all went to Harvard.
Oh. No. I'm gonna let that one slide though. You have two guesses. Yeah. Scarlet Pimpernel, the cat, the Mr. Toad from Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Dorian Gray.
They're both. They're all intellectuals.
I mean, kind of true, but that's not what I'm looking for. One last guess. Let me see if I can pick the best ones. Like Dorian Gray, Scarlet Pimpernel. What do those two guys have in common?
God, I don't know.
You give up?
Scarlet Pimpernel is like Zorro-ish, right?
Yeah.
He's like a Zorro.
Yeah.
He's a Zorro type figure. I don't know how. Didn't you also say Patrick Bateman?
Yeah. Man, he's a bad example, actually. I think. Like just write him out.
Okay.
That might be a stretch.
And then the cat from Red Dwarf.
Cat from Red Dwarf.
I don't know, man. This is hard for me.
Let me see. Austin Powers.
They all have weird accents.
They're dandies.
Okay. Patrick Bateman was a dandy?
I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. He was a bad example. I feel like some of them throw you off, though. Like, they have both Fraser and Niles Crane on here. I don't know if I completely agree with that either. I mean, but Scarlet Pimpernel and fucking Dorian Gray, that's pretty accurate.
I'd say Niles is more of a dandy than Fraser.
Yeah. I mean, they're both kind of... Well, anyway, let's not go down. Let's go to the next one. Okay. So, Norman Bates.
Uh-huh.
Quicksilver from Marvel Comics. Scarlet Witch from Marvel Comics. What do they have in common? I can give you more examples.
Oh, that's hard.
Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is on the list.
I've never seen that show.
Let me see.
Is it something like they have mother issues?
Well, getting hotter. Not it, but that's hotter.
I don't know.
Give up?
Yeah.
Incest. Characters involved with incest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Alright, let's see. Let me see if I can pick an easier one. More straightforward. How about, okay. God, even this is fucking hard. Killer Croc, Hannibal Lecter, Leatherface.
They eat people?
Yes, cannibals.
Yeah. I don't know if Killer Croc should count, though. Isn't he more of a crocodile?
I mean, he used to be a man.
He's not really a human, though.
Reptile from Mortal Kombat. Would that have been better? He's technically a person, right?
I don't think he is. He's got that reptile head.
Does he? I thought in the early ones he on the outside appeared to be a man.
In Mortal Kombat 2, he takes his mask off. He's
a lizard man.
Yeah, he's got a lizard head, and he'll eat you. That's one of his fatalities.
Okay, Biker Mice from Mars, Rat Fink.
Rip-offs.
Yeah, right.
Is it rodents that can drive?
Not through it yet. Judge Dredd.
Okay.
Tank Girl. Spider-Man.
So is it all motorcycles? People that have motorcycles?
A list of bikers. Let's see. Lobo. You remember Lobo, right?
Yeah, but not super well.
Yeah. Ghost Rider.
Is more people with motorcycles?
Actually, both of those characters should be on the other list as well.
You should edit that list.
Oh. Actually, this one's kind of shitty. It's kind of not as many in here as I would have thought. Well, I was wrong for picking this one. It's a list of people who made deals with the devil.
I say. Spawn, right?
Yeah. And Dean and John Winchester.
Yeah. Faust.
Is Faust on here? Yeah, he is. Yeah. Fuck, I should have just sold this one. Should have just kept going.
I would have got... I mean, if you said Faust and then the Winchesters, I probably would have gotten it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just try to edit it and do the next one more. Okay, Moocher McDuck. God, these are terrible.
Lesser known McDucks.
No. A list of beggars. Fictional beggars.
What? You're gonna beat me after one joke answer?
No, there wasn't even any other characters you recognize.
What's another one? I might recognize other ones.
There's only like a handful. Like Arnis, Lucy Barker, Flycatcher, Hong Qui-Gon, Eddie Ogletree. Like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
you know who they should have on it? They should have Wimpy from Popeye.
Was he a beggar? He wasn't a beggar.
He was always asking people for money for sandwiches.
Yeah, but he was just like annoying. He wasn't
and for duck dinners.
It's something like an asshole would do. He wasn't like a hobo.
They have a list of assholes. He didn't have any money. He never had money.
Is that what it was?
Well, he would promise to pay you back if you bought him food, if you bought him meals.
I mean, I thought he was just. It wasn't he. He wasn't like a hobo. He was just a mooch. It was like,
yeah, I guess. He's begging though. He's not a. It said beggars, not hobos, moochers. Right?
It's a list of beggars. Yeah.
Yeah, he was begging for food all the time. The cartoon dog from Beggin' Strips.
I mean, like, I think they mean beggars like a fucking person, like in, you know what I mean, like wrapped in robes who's homeless, not just a fucking person who literally begs all the time.
Well, sometimes beggars are not homeless.
Hey, beggars can't be choosers.
No.
Alright, Brain. From Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
Dr. Doom.
Is it people with who attempt to take over the world domination?
I mean, kinda, but that's not the one.
I keep reading, then.
Victor Frankenstein.
Uh-huh.
Dr. Octopus. Scarecrow from DC Comics. Hugo Strange. Mr. Sinister.
Is it Genius Villains?
Close enough. Mad Scientist.
Okay. I don't think of Pinky, or the Brain from Pinky the Brain as being a mad scientist, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have, like, the hair and the thing.
Well, he doesn't...
More...
He's a mouse.
Well, right. Well, that, too. But, I mean, like, a mad scientist, like, is an insane scientist. He's not necessarily an evil one, and most of these are evil ones.
Yeah.
Like, megalomaniacs. But I guess, technically, like, the scientist from... what is it? Like The Simpsons is more of like a mad scientist. He's like seems insane.
I guess like is Doc Brown on the list from Back to the Future?
No, he's not.
Don't you think he should be if it's just mad scientist? Because he was like a mad scientist.
Yeah, I would agree. Like they have like shit like Dr. Doom. Like he wasn't insane. Just evil. And Lex Luthor? Lex Luthor is definitely not one.
No.
Alright.
It's a bad list, Dave.
Shitty list. Alright, next one. Garfield.
Heathcliff.
Real easy, right?
Yeah.
Biff Tannen, Garfield, Draco Malfoy.
I don't know any of those Harry Potter things. I don't know what they...
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of, like, the ones I would somewhat recognize. I don't recognize a lot of these. Those are the only ones I recognize. Lucy Van Pelt, Biff Tannen, Garfield.
I don't know, people that like to eat.
Reggie Mantle, I believe that's the guy from Archie.
I don't know.
It's bullies.
Is
bullies.
Is Garfield a bully?
To Odie and Nermal.
I guess. He doesn't go out of his way, though. It seems like people come to him. He just wants them to leave him alone.
You think bullies have to like seek out victims? You don't think bullying it's less of bullying if you just do it low hanging fruit?
Yeah, he just wanted to be left alone.
He's more like a misanthrope.
That's what I took. Well, not just people he's against, but other
sentient creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, what about, like, Biff Tannen's clearly a bully. Like,
yes.
Lucy Van Pelt is one as well.
That's from Peanuts.
Yes.
Yeah. Bitch.
Reggie is a bully to Archie.
Mm-hmm.
Now I get Garfield. I can see how that would throw you off. You don't think of him as... You just think of him as being crotchety, not like, an oppressive force.
What if I said, characters who give good head?
Jay Gatsby.
Yeah. What was that? What was the girl he loves name in that?
Huh?
What was No, the girl that Gatsby loved.
Daisy.
Like Daisy. That's right.
All right. Let's see. J. Jameson, Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, Scrooge McDuck, the original Scrooge, and Shylock.
Is it Misers?
The first one you got completely correct.
I got all the other ones completely correct.
No, but like you said Misers. It's exactly Misers.
Okay.
Let's see. Do one more. There's not even that many of these.
Ooh, doggies.
Alright. Max Cady. Billy Kincaid. I think that's from Spawn. That yellow bastard from Sin City.
Is it like bad guys? But like, I mean, they're all bad guys, right?
Getting hot. Not what I'm looking for, but
is it like minor bad guys?
No. It's a type of bad guy.
Is it like just like violent sociopath?
No, it's pedophiles. Fictional pedophiles.
This is all on Wikipedia?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. They also, I did not do fictional activists, fictional assassins, fictional students who have had a relationship with a teacher, fictional tricksters, fictional characters who have committed suicide. It's kind of like, it's weird containers. Like, I feel like this is it's like a burgeoning list, you know what I mean? Fictional characters by behavioral attribute. So that's the games.
I see. You want me to read one more Aladdin?
Can't wait to. It started doing that. You can do one more.
Alright. Did you ever watch Aladdin?
Yeah, not with the same intensity.
It's a good what do you call it? Show. It looks like what do you call it? Looks like I accidentally closed that window out, but I'm gonna find it again.
No, let's just wrap it up.
No. Yeah, I guess it would be list of. Well, let's just say also Alec will be back next time. We're gonna try to come out hard in the month of October with a good amount of episodes.
A whole lot of Halloween content.
Well, I can't promise that. Episode 5, Never Say Nafir. Arriving in Geddistan, the group find it being destroyed every night by a giant, rampaging and dancing rhino. Samir the Destroyer. and rebuilt by Nafir and his imps the following day for a large price. As he investigates, Genie learns Nafir is responsible for forcing Samir to dance with magic dancing shoes. The situation only gets worse when Nafir puts the shoes on Genie's feet as well, and it is up to Aladdin to remove them. Fuck you. Oh god, the next one's so good. Alright, I'll just read this one, then we'll sign off.
Alright.
Getting the bugs out. After they fight off a mechanical bug that was sent to Agrabah from a neighboring land, Genie and Carpet are dismayed when Aladdin is taking credit for their accomplishments. However, as this continues when they track the bug to its source, they meet their new opponent, the inventor Mechanicles, who captures the two of them, and it is up to Aladdin to take charge and fight off machines on his own.
Bugs out.
Yeah, bugs out for Mechanicles.
So that kind of sounds like an example of one where you think it's going to be about the bugs, but then it's about some other shit.
Yeah, and I'll give a hint. I'll give a hint. The next one features a return from Abysmal.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So more of that next week or next episode.
Right. Do you want to do any messages, or you just want
I'll read that. I'll read that one again. I'll read that last one.
No.
All right. Well, yeah. I just wanted to say, check out Omega Land, the post-apocalyptic tarot deck available on Amazon. That better not fuck up my my plug, Dave. That chiming. All right, man. How about you? You gonna play a thing?
Yeah. I need to make a new thing for the end too.
If you are interested in fast-paced battle games,
and Dick's out. So anyway, thank you for listening to Wikifiends.
All right, Knives Out for Backstab. All right.
Okay, so I guess that's technically done. I can cut it off there.
Wait, we didn't say goodbye.
All right, do you want to do it?
Have a good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.